there that you should follow through on it and make it happen. And then I had the fortune of going to TED in Vancouver this year. And then I just came back from TED Women. So that's probably why the buzz of all TED. I just really believe in the ideas worth sharing. There are so many ideas, and we need to help people share their ideas and be confident and courageous, more about courageous than confident, to tell their stories and to share, because that's the way we're going to change all of this and hear from those new voices instead of hearing from so many mediocre voices.
Yeah. The thing I like about TED is the shortness and the discipline too, because anybody can tell a really long story, but it takes that discipline to really tell a story that's short.
Yeah. Yeah. So I did just close a window that said, do your TED application. So I have to figure that out. So at the TED Women, they had a lot of people who have TEDx's, so could get on a stage that way. But I think I also have a unique, bigger idea that could really swim in the TED platform directly too. So it's one of those things that's on the list. I have to get it out there. And I know being on the TED platform really does great things, because that's for Karen Eber again. Her TEDx talk is now doing so well and has, I think, hit a couple of million, if not for sure a million, or a couple million soon. Yeah.
Well, and the thing that I didn't actually realize that she shared with me is she actually used Paul Zach's, who's a trust expert, but he actually has software which is called immersion software. Have you come across that?
No, please.
So you can actually run a story through immersion software and understand how that story is actually going to be received by the audience and where you have to kind of tweak it. And yeah, so she ran her TED talk through the immersion software. So you may want to talk with her about how that works, because that's what she attributes actually getting on the TED platform itself.
There you go. See, it's all of us sharing these tips and tricks and all the things to make it easier on ourselves instead of making it harder, or thinking, well, that will never happen to me. It's like those things. So thank you for that. I will definitely connect with her on that.
And I mean, it's the strangest things too. So like, I'm sure you're familiar with Nancy Duarte.
Yeah.
So her TED talk, which was amazing, and I love that TED talk, but even she was critiquing herself, because she did that. She got amazing results and amazing reactions, but her slides were the wrong size. And because that's when they had just pivoted to different size slides.
Yeah.
And she was mortified because she's
because she was helping them with slides for a long time. So that they must have gone to 16 by 9 by then. But
exactly, that's right. It was right in that window, and there's some kind of like communication, but so like, you could be the best of the best, you could be the specialist, you could be the person who taught Steve Jobs to storytell, and you're still going to have a flub, but you still end up on a TED platform.
And I think that's part of it, is letting people know that things aren't perfect. And that's where, for when I give speeches, I'll say, like the last one I did, I dropped my clicker. I dropped it and I just like bent down and I picked it up, and I didn't even mention anything. And then probably about 10 minutes into it, I said, we ruminate. And I said, I'm going to go home and I'm probably going to think about how I dropped my clicker. And it's going to like, why did I drop it? And I showed that being less than perfect, the imperfection of it all can actually add to our storytelling and adds color. And so, but nicely, somebody came up at the end, said she loved how smooth it was. And so brought it up, that the reinforcement of like, it's okay that we're not perfect. And when we model that for each other, of course, when we need to be perfect, we need to be perfect. But, when we can say, hey, we have help along the way, or here's how to do it, or I'm not perfect, then we can actually model and help each other and show the milestones, the moments, and not just the milestones, moments over milestones. And so it gives you permission to also have a little more fun than worrying about every single piece of it all. And did I flub something? Don't worry about it.
And one thing I heard from Karen too, I won't tell you the whole story because you can listen to that episode yourself, but TED edits. Nobody knows that TED edits. They edit. So even if you're not perfect,
yes,
you have the small little imperfections. And
if you go to the TED stage, some people will actually stammer in the middle of it and have to stop. Yeah. And what's beautiful about the audience, all the TED audiences though, is that people will clap you back on.
Yeah.
And it's okay. So I've seen as an audience member, people leave the stage to go compose themselves and come back on. I've seen people with cue cards.
Yeah.
I've seen people with cards beside them just in case as a safety blanket. And I've seen people stop to take their water, and it's okay. And the audience allows it. And the thing is that they clap you back on. And in the end, the beautiful product that it is, there was even a woman who had to go and do her whole thing again because there was a mic rustle in something. So they made her do it at 7:00 in the morning the next day. So I don't know how her energy was for that, but we're human.